Hello and welcome back to the Jones Chronicles. I'm your host, Christina. We are doing a special episode because I can't wait until Friday. It'll simmer in my brain and I just want to get this out right now to discuss the Will Smith and Chris Rock Oscar debacle. I don't watch the Oscars. I have not watched the Oscars maybe since I was a teenager, and I realized that these people are going to make political choices that has nothing to do with actual talent sometimes. And I lost interest in the Oscars. So I woke up the next morning, like probably a lot of people who didn't watch the Oscars or don't watch the Oscars, to my inbox. And by inbox, I mean my actual friends, not on social media. Was like, oh, did you they made a remark about something that went down between Chris Rock and Will Smith. I didn't think anything too much about it. And then I pulled up the video. And I have to say, I was appalled. This is not okay. I have had people say this is one of the greatest, or not greatest, but they are kind of hyping it up in a way of like, this is going down in history as if it's somehow a positive thing, and it's not. So I'm gonna run through what I mean, everyone's gonna have their opinion, particularly in the Black community. I think it shines a light on some of the issues we continue to struggle with in the Black community, particularly around Black men, their behavior, and I think that a lot of people have a lot of platforms that they're putting and associating with this very singular incident, in my opinion, regarding conduct, and that this is what it boils down to me. So what I see is a joke that I saw beforehand, him making fun of another couple, not making fun of, but making light of the fact that they're both nominated. Then he goes over to make a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, G.I. Joe 2 or G.I. Jane 2. We're looking forward to the sequel, something to that effect. Here's a caveat that you're going to laugh at. When I first heard the joke, I thought he was making fun of the whole entire outfit that she had on. Like, she looked like a green beret, right? Like, you have the short hair and you have the green dress on. It's a silly joke because all Black people don't follow everything other Black people are doing, and there's nothing to say that Chris Rock was different. I can't speak if he knew that she had alopecia or something to that effect about hair loss coming out, and she's sensitive about it. I don't know how you're so sensitive about something, but you can go on TV and tell everybody about every moment of that experience because you feel the need to share it. I mean, whatever. You open yourself to critique when you tell everyone something that you may not feel comfortable, if someone made a comment about. But that's the thing. I didn't even get the fact that it was about I didn't know that she had that. Once again, I don't know if Chris Rock knew that or if he didn't know that. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on things that aren't apparent to me. What it was apparent to me was that she rolled her eyes very disgustingly at the joke while her husband laughed. Her husband, who is also a comedian and has probably said plenty of out-of-pocket things in his past, right? He made a relatively mild joke. Yes, she had a condition, but I don't think that, and you could tell even afterwards, that Chris kind of didn't get what the big deal was. Like, I just made a G.I. Jane joke, which most people would. If you see people with shaved heads, you go to the casual comment about it, right? We didn't know this was a big deal for you. Okay, my bad. But here's the thing. You showed up at a place where you know it is commonplace, expected for the host to make commentary on the audience. Not only that, if you've ever watched Ricky Gervais at the Oscars, that motherfucker has crossed some lines and he don't give a fuck. And if people want to cancel him afterwards or have words with him afterwards, sure. But once again, as a black woman, because I know there's a few that's out there on their platform right now talking about, well, black women, you know, this is about us and being humiliated in a crowd of people. As a black woman, everything ain't about the struggle. It's not. They are really using this one incident to try to tell different stories on what they want this to be in the future. And maybe it's salvaging too, you know, because what happens next is not anything I'm going to defend in any manner. You were wrong. I don't give a fuck. Only bitch ass niggas bitch slap people. And ultimately, that's what Will Smith did. In my humble opinion, watching what I'm watching, I'm like, how the fuck did you go to so offended to laughing? Or laughing to so offended, I should say. When did that transition happen? You know when it happened? When she tapped on his fucking leg and said, why you laughing at that? I'm offended. And then he walked up there because he's trying to prove something because his marriage is sloppy. Look, your woman stepped out on you. Y'all had an open marriage. She crossed that damn line. You wanted to defend her honor or whatever bullshit you got going on in your own insecure life. And you thought that was the moment to do it? After a very mild joke about something that no one would know if they... Like, I didn't fucking know that you had alopecia. So if I don't know, how do you just gonna assume that everybody else knew and that everybody else was looking at you like, oh my God, you're alopecia? I know I'm saying it wrong and I'm being disrespectful by saying it wrong, but I honestly don't know how to say it. Alopecia, I think that's the right way to say it. I am not unempathetic if she felt some type of way in that moment, but there is this thing called rule of conduct. You are not exempt. There's no halo around you. You're not floating, levitating above the rest of everybody, that you're immune from a joke. If you really felt, and this is what they teach you fucking in the real world. This is why I don't like it, because it was basically using your power, influence, and quite frankly, in with white people, that Will Smith was able to even do this. And that is my issue, because once he goes on stage, Chris Rock is like, he's expecting maybe a playful moment. It's like, okay, if you want to, have a playful moment, let's have a playful moment. He was not expecting that man to come up to him and slap him across the face. And I mean bitch slap him while his hands were behind his back. Y'all talking about her humiliation, but nobody's talking about his humiliation. Will Smith went up there and humiliated that man on national television, and then walked away knowing that he was not going to step out into his niggerdom. And really, because I'm serious. If Chris Rock got some fucking, he's got some emotional intelligence. He's looking to the side like, is nobody gonna do anything about this? Is this really how we're really gonna allow this to proceed? That he gets to go back to his seat and then continue to scream at me not to keep his wife's mouth out of his fucking mouth, or wife's name out of his fucking mouth. Well, her name comes out of a lot of fucking men's mouth. You don't seem to be physically violent when that occurs.
Because you are a bitch.
That's honestly what I put in the chat. Maybe if Jada didn't break the rules of y'all open relationship, maybe you wouldn't feel so sensitive about the man saying your wife's name. I mean, your reaction was disproportionate with what had occurred. And I don't give a damn about how the joke was in misogyny. That's just white. That's just feminism trying to find something to make a platform for. Stop it. This was a man who took a moment, and then he even explained it afterwards if y'all was paying attention. One, how everyone reacted afterwards, like I kind of got some disrespect for Bradley Cooper, Denzel Washington, all of them that went up to him and was comforting his ass like he did something that was not absolutely and utterly wrong. That is our problem. We keep holding up the wrong motherfucking people. Oh, we love to hold up the wrong people. Michael, Bill Cosby, OJ, everybody that be fucking up. We never want to acknowledge what the fuck up was. We just want to make excuses for the behavior because black people always get a bad deal. Black people also are capable of fucking up and becoming rich and becoming pieces of shit. Look at Kanye West. Will Smith ain't been fucking with y'all. Niggas always want to support the wrong motherfucking people. And this is what I'm saying. Straight up niggas. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The ignorant side of our community that just want to be ignorant. That choose to be ignorant. And instead of looking at an isolated event and being like, no, that's not how someone else who has also made their way up in this world, the same world you did as a comedian, the same as you. I mean, come on, man. You couldn't, as a black man to a black man, not had a conversation. Did you really? You didn't see Red. That's not the story that was being told. You didn't see Red. She tapped on you. You walked up there because of whatever cult of personality Jada Pinkett Smith got in that household. I ain't fucked with Jada in a long time. Not since she got real balls deep into Scientology. Remember that shit? Then all of a sudden the last 6 years, y'all doing black movies together again. And oh, don't make me. See, this is how we talk about y'all on the street. Nobody sits there and does the politically correct stuff. No, we dragging your life for what it is. I don't appreciate people who go out and put all of their personal trash on the goddamn media platform and think that that's okay when you have children in the picture that might actually not be better off without that full-on transparency about what happens between their parents. I am all for not treating your children like they're nothing and they're things and not people. And I'm not saying the Smiths have done all terrible things. I'm saying I don't really even follow them like that since that particular moment. That tells me you're willing to get down in things that don't feel rational to me. Your whole open relationship thing, that's your business. I'm indifferent to it. I've been indifferent to them even if I don't fuck with them. But that also means that there are people that are probably just like me. Like, I don't know too much about them. I didn't know she had alopecia. I didn't know this is a sensitive issue. And people are trying to act like that was his intention when he went out there, was to disrespect his wife. No, his intention was to point out the black and brown people in the audience, because we're supposed to be people, and make light jokes between the community. We didn't expect for it to blow up like this because no one did. And then they're going to come out acting like he's not an actor with them tears. Oh, I'm holding back tears. No, you holding back tears because you fucked up.
It's like I made a mistake.
Quite frankly, it's your privilege that didn't get your ass hauled out in a fucking cop car. Because let's make no mistake, this was called assault. Assault. Say the words with me. Assault. It wasn't defending of your honor. Even when you called out someone to defend of your honor, you at least threw down a glove. The other person at least knew y'all was beefing. What the fuck? Bitch smacking is not, no. 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 He talk about the crazy things you do for love.
These motherfucking bitch ass niggas.
Then he made that horrible King Richard joke. I didn't even see that movie. I haven't seen things that Will Smith has done in a while because he always does the same role of taking on, like, I have problems with Will Smith and Jada Smith as entertainers, but as I said, it wasn't to the point where I was actively disliking them. So now that this has happened, all I'm feeling is all of that shit I've been wanting to say, or why I was personally not fucking with you. Not nobody, because he's a very popular actor, and I'm not saying he ain't talented, because he sure is talented. But I also think that the Oscars pick politically white approved black actors. It's always Denzel. It's always Will Smith. It ain't too many charcoal motherfuckers in the house. That's all I'm saying. It's always those, ones that enrolled around with some white women. Whatever the case may be, they have they reasons, and it ain't necessarily based primarily on your performance. That's just my 2 cents on it. You ain't got to agree. You ain't got to agree with anything I say on this podcast. Let's make that known. This is just my own personal opinion. Very limited. I'm sure there's all points that can be made on every side of it. But I don't see it as some big, reason to stand behind him. For whatever reason, I see this as you just went up there and physically assaulted someone, then was allowed to sit back down, then was allowed to go on stage and accept an Oscar, which no one even remembers that you won. Then you said, oh, I'm just like the character defending, and then you have Serena and Venus in the audience. They don't even know how to fucking react at this moment. Nobody does, because that's also a thing with the black community. We don't like to turn on each other. We don't. Everybody's trying to keep this contained because we're out here trying to show that we matter, and we got you over here acting like a nigga from the street. That, in my opinion, had less to do with Jada Pinkett Smith's honor and everything to do with whatever fucked up relationship you two dynamic y'all have in the relationship, where you felt the need to prove that you was still a man, that you still had your black card, and that you was still worth her loving you. Whatever the case may be, that's what that was about. It was personal. It wasn't professional, because it wasn't even tried to handle professionally. You could have stopped that man and break and said, you know what, I got a fucking problem with you. And then after some words were said, then you felt the need to defend your wife's honor? Sure. But that's not what happened. And you can twist the narrative all you want to try to suit what you feel is what can get you out of the situation, what plays better with the logistics. And it seems to be working with the nigga side of the community. But the other side of the community is literally sitting like, Chris Rock came before you, motherfucker. Not only is that someone who helped pave the way for your ass, but who also has the same amount of dignity and respect and been doing this long enough that I don't think for 5 seconds, if you had treated him like a man, and a black man at that this would have been the same situation. And that's where I have the issue. Jada was even nowhere to be found. I did laugh my ass off at Lupita's reactions. Her facial expressions was like, I think she was like, is this a joke? I don't know if this is a joke. This don't seem like a joke. I get what he's saying. And she kind of almost was like, okay, cool, you defending your wife. But I just, like I said, when you only hearing one side of the story, then he apologized to the Academy and not to Chris Rock, who he physically assaulted and who could have just called 911 if he wanted to be a bitch ass and had you rolling out in cuffs. Because once again, a crime was committed, and I don't feel that that should be downplayed in any type of capacity. Because I know how I would feel if that shit happened to me. I don't give a fuck what was going on. You at least tell me we in a fight. Then he was left alone to diffuse a situation that was turning increasingly hostile in which he was the victim. And that's what everybody is completely ignoring. And that's the sad part, that it's more important to preserve the Will Smith mantle than it is the Chris Rock mantle. And that also is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, because I don't want to talk all just about our community sometimes and how we don't make the best choices because we come from an uneducated place sometimes. And I deal with it with my family. My aunt right now is dealing with, and I actually ran this by her because I really wanted to know. She's dealing with cancer right now, breast cancer. Her hair has recently completely fallen out. It's not the same condition, but she's dealing with a lot of, emotionally and physically, her body is being racked right now. And I asked her about the joke, and she says, if my husband would have went up there and tried to defend my honor in that moment, I would have said, why did you take away something that was making light of a dire situation? Just because she didn't think it was funny, that's her right. But it was just a joke. A very basic, bland joke. She actually chuckled at the joke. And she's just as bald and suffering, not trying to compare at all, but someone that I felt would be closer to, being able to see it in a different light that I would see it. So, Will Smith, y'all can go ahead and love him in Hollywood. He definitely can never come to the hood. Because like I said, bitch slapping someone is only what bitches do. Okay? I don't know what he thought that was about. He should have went up there if he was going to do something and said, nah, motherfucker, let's go. That's what you should have did. Not sit there and have someone standing there with his hands behind his back and don't even fully understand the full entirety of how he possibly could have offended this. He was like, this is a G.I. Jane joke. This ain't got nothing to do with your wife and her history. And one, we don't even know if he knew. Quite frankly, there are some jokes that just hit. But also, your mama taught you, at least hopefully your mother taught you when you were young, that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Of course, words hurt, right? No one's not to say you're not supposed to get your feelings hurt. The point of that statement is that you cannot get physically violent with people over words. That is what the First fucking Amendment is there for. Which, as a comedian, he knows that. That's what I'm really ticked off about. I'm like, seriously? You just completely did what your wife said because for whatever reason, like I pointed out earlier, y'all had that, she stepped out and you needed to prove you still had your black card. But I don't fuck with neither one of y'all. I've been not fucked with Jada Pinkett Smith, but now I actively dislike you. That's what I should more appropriately say. I actively dislike both these motherfuckers. And I'm sure that this ain't gonna hurt him too much. He got millions of dollars, and we can see afterwards he got plenty of friends. He's gonna come out as somehow the winner in this situation, which is even sadder for me because it's a continuing trend. Why do we expect people to treat us better if we can't treat ourselves better? And that's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to discuss it on the Jones Chronicles on Friday, because I like to talk about things that I like to talk about. Now, actually, I really didn't even want to say anything on it, but because I do want to say the things that I just said, I felt the need to go ahead and just get them out so that they don't bother me, because I have anxiety like that. And we could definitely, if someone wants to go into deeper conversation, but I think it is going to be something people are going to talk about for a really long time, but that's because they ain't got nothing else to do. I mean, that's it. Or they just want to talk about the hot topic thing, because my ass is like, I gotta go to work, and this was only on my mind because it was still in my freaking thing, and I wanted to say it since yesterday. I always gotta get my 2 cents out, but after I get my 2 cents out, I'm pretty much done with it. I'm sure something else. I was just thinking about Ukraine this morning. I was like, yeah, there's more important things going on in the world than one man acting like a little bitch. Oh, one more thing. I know this is all over the place. It's not very cohesive or coherent for the most part. I know I started some thoughts, dropped some thoughts, because I'm trying to not go full. Some conversations you do just have with your friends. And you best believe Will Smith getting dragged. I just saw like a group of black dudes talking on a corner in the store. And they were saying so many things I'm not going to repeat because, yeah. But just know, you get dragged. You are being examined for the last 10 years, and it is not a good, it's not a good examination. It's not. But I just want to give big ups to Chris Rock, because quite frankly, that was the man that kept things from turning to bad, from bad to worse. And he did it for the community. He really did. He did it so that he did not give all the Caucasians, all of the ones that really been rooting against us from the start, nothing else to talk about, to have fodder for. They have enough on this side of it. They don't need him to add to it. And he really did make that choice. And you can see it on his face. You can see it with his mouth. He was like, ooh, I could, like, come on. I mean, the things that he could go ham on for Will and Jada, because unfortunately they decided to go on TV and put all of their business out there. Ain't nobody made that choice besides them. And when you put that your shit out there, then you gotta know that it's open to critique. Even me, I put shit out there. I know for facts that people clap back at me. I can't be like, I put it out there. So Chris Rock probably has so much fucking material that he could say like all the things he wanted to say. I mean, he could have went so below the belt, because look, everybody and their mama know what she did. So all when he was posturing out there, he could have called it out in every kind of way, and he could have made them both look 10 times worse than they was already looking, and he chose not to. And I hope he's rewarded for that in some capacity. I will say most of the YouTube's comments I'm seeing, and I usually don't have a lot of hope in YouTube, seem to all be on the same consensus that was not okay. They tried to get black people to turn on black people, because they want this to be that, right? And you already see it happening, which is why I don't want to get into it too much. I'm saying my 2 cents, but I don't want to engage in that type of behavior, which some are already engaging. Don't call other people because they think something different than you. You know, I saw one comment, I was want my husband to, some people don't want to be defended. That's not what it's about. And that's not for you to come out and make comments to say. Just don't do that. And I think the one person that I did respect said, yeah, this ain't gonna be great for the black community. I'm afraid of how this is gonna affect the black community. Of course it is, because we don't know how to unite sometimes. We don't know. But like I said, I'm not gonna put all business out there in the streets all the time on this podcast. But yeah, no, he needs to get major props, because he took a bitch slap. He didn't go after him, because he could have tackled him. I know I would have saw red. I would have had that mic stand. I would have been fucking that dude up. You best believe I would have been fucking him up. I'm a grown ass man. I make fucking just as good as money as you. I'm up here been asked to host a damn show and you gotta show your ass. Then walk away, then still talking crap. And ain't nobody trying to come to my side. Nobody doing nothing. Just a whole bunch of inadequacy on the Oscars part 2. Why? Because it's Will Smith. And that should tell you so much. Alright, I'm going to leave it here. If you want to just drop some lines in my mailbox and you feel we need to have another conversation about this, sure. blackgirlcouch@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below. My social media will be there as well. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Until the next time, peace, hair grease, and black girl magic.